You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Although Hidden Traps is not officially released until August 1st, you can pre-order your paperback or ebook copy now from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
This is Jenny Earhart with the Southern Sisters Radio Show. Check us out on our website, southernsistershome.com. You can link to our radio show there or check out the recipes that we talk about on the show each week.
Welcome to Southern Sisters Radio, the show for Southern women and the men who adore them. Join us as we celebrate life from a Southern point of view. Now, here's your host, Jenny Earhart.
Hey, everyone, and welcome to the Southern Sisters Radio program. It is so good to be back on the air with y'all. I have been away for a little while. You know, life, right?
It does. It gets in the way sometimes.
Yes, life and the flu.
Right.
Life and the flu. Now, I have to admit, it wasn't actually me that had the flu, right? But my administrative assistant at Southern Sisters, bless her little heart, Jeanette, she was down for 10 days with this nasty version of the flu that's been, you know, cycling through everybody.
It's a really bad one. I've had the same issue too. My fiance got it. My son got it. My daughter had it. You know, or she's got it right now. They're all fighting through it. And something interesting the doctor told us when my daughter just got diagnosed with the flu just 2 days ago now. They said, you know, this one is very, very resilient against the flu shot. Yeah. 70-something% of the cases of the flu that have been reported this year in Georgia have been people who got the flu shot. Yikes.
Right. Yeah. It's a booger of a flu, isn't it? It's a nasty, nasty germ. In fact, it has been so sort of devastating, really, that we're going to devote the entire second segment to what you need to know about the 2018 flu.
Ooh.
I don't know if that sounds like a really exciting topic, but we're going to make it fun because you're going to learn a lot, right?
Yes.
We're going to learn some myths about it and what you need to know and what may help you get through this season without falling victim to it.
Oh, please.
It's been nasty. But, I've missed y'all. Yes, we've been away. We've done a few little reruns. Okay, so those who've been emailing me and complaining about the reruns, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
She doesn't love you any less.
Please forgive me. No more reruns, okay? We're back in the studio. I've missed Nick so much. He's just such an integral part of our show, and I've missed you listeners. So we are going to hit 2018 hard and running hard. We've got a lot of things to cover. I do want to tell you, though, we've got kind of a big announcement.
Yes, kind of big news.
It's big for us. We think it might be big for y'all. We think it's actually quite cool. Mm-hmm. We are relocating. Indeed. You will still always hear my show either on Facebook Live or we will continue to be on Salem Media Group on Saturdays at AM 920 at noon every weekend. But we're actually going to be recording our show from our brand new, very impressive, right? Mm-hmm. Beautiful Southern Sisters radio studio at the Battery Atlanta.
Yes, right there where the Braves play.
Oh, right at SunTrust Park. Literally, you can look out our window and see SunTrust Park right there.
Yes, it's exciting. I'm pumped for this.
If I could throw a baseball, which I can't, I could probably hit the side of the stadium. That's how close we are, right?
Yes, we're close. It is a fully dedicated Southern Sisters studio.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, we encourage you guys to come out and say hello to us, right?
Yeah, please.
You can come on over there. We are located in Spaces, which is, we are going to be right literally across the intersection catty corner from is it the third base entrance?
Yes, I think it is the third base entrance. Yeah, we're actually pretty much right next door to the Roxy.
We are right next door to the Roxy Theater. Yeah, which my daughter's been to.
It is a pretty sweet place.
I think I'm too old for that kind of place.
Oh, come on. You're never too old.
I don't know.
You're never too
old. All these weird
You could
concerts.
probably get in there and party. Just
you think so?
I'm sure you can get down.
Do a little white man's overbite. Little dancing. I don't know. But that's where we're going to be, guys, effective next weekend. So when you hear us, we will be broadcasting live, or not live. We will be recording and then broadcasting, right? Not live. We will be recording and then broadcasting our show from the new Southern Sisters radio studio at the Battery Atlanta. So, woo!
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a blast.
Well, do you know that this weekend is very important, Nick? Oh. Saturday is National Chocolate Cake Day.
What?
Which I think is every day.
That's true, but now you have an even better excuse.
Every day, right?
Yes.
Absolutely do. And Sunday is National, wait for it, Blueberry Pancake Day.
Yes!
Two of my favorite things all rolled into one weekend. So that's what we're going to be talking about in the third segment. After the half, we're going to come back. I am going to share with you a really super easy recipe. Get it. Chocolate cake in a mug.
Oh.
You can do it in the microwave.
What?
It's decadent and delicious. And my key to fluffy pancakes.
Ooh.
There's a little trick and there's a little science lesson behind it as well.
Okay.
We're also going to talk about some of the keys to happiness. Right.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we're going to do some little brain exercises that are going to increase our chances of being happy individuals. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to talk a little bit about this nasty, nasty, awful flu that has taken hold of so many of us.
Kick it in the butt.
So you guys don't go too far away. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Southern Sisters radio show. Oh, guess what this topic is all about? Women and guns.
Oh, really?
Now, I got to tell you, I know that my husband has told me more than once that he thinks a woman with a gun is a very sexy thing.
I would agree with that statement, yeah.
It may depend on who she's pointing it at, though.
That is a very big caveat, absolutely.
Right? If she's pointing at you, I would say that might put a little damper on the romance. What do you think? But, I'm a big fan of women's and guns, mostly because I'm a big fan of the Second Amendment and our right to keep and bear them. I have often said that from a female perspective, and ladies, you know what I'm talking about, I kind of regard a gun as an equalizer. You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
Okay, so men typically, genetically, are larger, bigger, heavier, more upper body strength, right? So for a woman, in terms of, when you consider her self-defense, a gun is something that can kind of put her on a little bit more of a level playing field if she is dealing with someone who may, have ill intentions toward her.
Right. Doesn't matter how big you are. That hurts.
It hurts. It's gonna ruin your day.
Right.
It's gonna ruin your day. But I gotta tell you, I stumbled across a YouTube video recently, and I wanted to share a little bit of it with you, or at least tell you about it. It is a woman who has basically utilizing something that allows her to carry a concealed weapon on her body. Okay? So I was watching the video, and I could not tell where she had that gun hidden. I mean, she turned around. She was wearing fairly form-fitting clothes, like a pair of shorts and kind of a tight shirt, and I didn't see it anywhere.
Oh, okay.
She was hiding it very well. Let's back up a little bit and talk about this first. So, if you were to picture the gun owners of America, right? And it is probably all too easy to imagine bearded white guys toting long barrel shotguns into pheasant country, right? You admit it. A lot of y'all do think of them that way. But these days, a curiously large proportion of U.S. gun owners are women. Right? And more gun owners than ever are arming themselves for self-defense.
Yes.
Now, I will tell you that as the mother of 3 20-something daughters, they all arm themselves.
Good.
And
as they should.
For all 3 of them, a handgun for personal self-defense was a gift that they received on each of their 21st birthdays.
Awesome.
From Mama. Mama McCormick made sure that her daughters were packing. Yes,
good,
I did.
Good. And let's be fair. I mean, I think in the current, all of the Me Too climate and everything else, I think that it kind of proves that having something like that with you is not a bad thing at all.
I completely agree. And that is not to say that that owning the gun itself is enough by itself. Responsible gun ownership is what we're talking about here. Okay? Safety training.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And there are so many places that you can get these safety courses where you can learn how to handle the gun, how to properly store the gun, so that nobody accidentally gets hurt.
And a lot of your municipalities will actually offer that training for free.
Isn't that wonderful?
You just got to look it up.
Yeah. No, it's no kidding. I actually had a situation within the past 6 months where I was followed by somebody. It was very strange. The same person on 4 different occasions followed me from my home into the neighboring areas not too far from my home. And at one time, the sheriff actually got involved. It was shortly after that I went to the courthouse and renewed my concealed carry permit. You know what I'm saying? And even me, and I know how to handle a gun, it's always a good idea to have a refresher course. You know what I'm saying? Because, accidents can happen. Right. So we want to always make the very best possible decisions that we can make regarding arming ourselves and yet keeping everybody else around us that we don't want to hurt safe.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, guys, who is, you may ask yourself, who is the new American female gun owner, and what is she taking up arms against? Well, on any given day, there are an infinite number of objects that you might find in a woman's bra, besides her personal parts, right? Okay, maybe a credit card, some folded up cash,
right.
Maybe a tube of lipstick if she's feeling fancy. I've been known to stick pens in there, my writing pens, and then forget about them. And then at night they fall out onto the floor. Yeah, that's not good. But of a never-ending one-sided battle between women's clothing and functional pockets, the bra has over the years become a repository for the small, important items that women want with them at all times. Okay, ladies, you know what I'm talking about. Guys, you're married to a woman, you know what I'm talking about. Which is why the bra of 42-year-old pharmacist Lola often contains a gun. To be specific, a Smith & Wesson a Smith & Wesson M&P Shield 9mm. Less than 1 inch thick, the $449 Shield is a matte black semi-automatic double-action pistol with an 8-round magazine, plus the ability to have a 9th bullet in the chamber. Lola carries it every place it's legal to do so, whether that's in her bra or in a waist holster, which, in her home state of Florida, is just about everywhere except courthouses, schools, government buildings, airports, career centers, and post offices. Those are the places she can't take it. And it's her preference for the flash bang bra holster that first caught my attention. So under her internet nom de plume, Lola Strange, Lola stars as an instructional and delightful, I might add, YouTube video about her holster of choice. In the video, Lola says that one reason she, along with her husband Hank, loves the flashbang holster is that it offers a little extra lift in the cleavage department.
Oh.
How about that? Now, for most of her life, Lola believed guns were just something you saw on TV, and it was always the bad guys who had them. But 3 years ago, Hank took an interest in learning how to use a gun for self-defense, and he encouraged his wife and 2 teenage sons to do the same. Now, today, Lola never leaves the house without her Smith & Wesson, and she says having a gun alone isn't going to save your life, she says, but at least that gun gives you the opportunity to have some kind of equal ground with whoever. That's what we were just talking about, right? Now, I'll say what Lola won't, folks. A gun isn't just a weapon, right? It's also an unambiguous way to signal to someone that they should leave you alone.
Right.
Okay? And, and if you're a woman in need of an unambiguous way to signal that someone should leave you alone, then history, data, and plain old common sense that comes from living in the world suggests that somebody is more than likely a man.
Yep.
Men commit 97% of the gun violence in this country.
Right. Yep.
So, ladies, there's nothing wrong if you know a woman, love a woman, married to a woman, have a daughter. It's a concern, right?
Yes.
Safety is an issue that we all worry about all the time. I know that I feel better just knowing that my daughters are armed. Certainly, chances are you will never ever need to use it.
Yes, God willing, you never have to pull it from the holster.
You really don't have to,
Except to clean it and go to the range.
Exactly. Now, for those of us that grew up in homes where guns were kind of, around the house, my dad was a hunter, so it's not shocking to me to see them. He had a gun that leaned against, he kept it behind the front door. It leaned in the corner, like behind the front door.
Yeah.
He used to joke that it was for any, potential boyfriend that might come to
makes sense.
Come to pick me up.
That's how I feel.
Right.
A lot of times.
Do you really?
My daughter, yeah.
Well, if you have a daughter, you know what I'm talking about. But no, it's definitely something I think in this day and age that we just we can't be too careful.
Right.
And I don't, as long I think is that you are taking the precautions that you need to make sure that you are educated in the use and care of that firearm, then I say more power to you.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
You just got to make the smart decision and have it with you in case.
And don't fiddle with it. Don't play with it.
Yes.
I remember years ago, my brother was fooling around with a gun and it actually went off in the house and he shot a hole through the ceiling.
Ooh.
Oh, he was in so much trouble. He was in so much trouble. Now, obviously, nobody was hurt, but it went right through the ceiling, right through the attic, and out the roof of the house.
Oh. Sure, Dad was mad about that one.
He was just a little upset. Well, folks, there you have it. If you have any ideas for us on how just about gun safety, we should do another segment one time just about gun safety. Anyway, that's great. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
Hey, KLRN radio family. This is Jenny Earhart. Check out the Southern Sisters radio show every Sunday at 2 p.m. right here on KLRN. Connect with me on Facebook at Southern Sisters Home with Jenny Earhart. You can also catch our Facebook Live videos, unedited and uncensored. Connect with me personally. Email me at radio@southernsistershome.com.
Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight, fever in the morning, fever all through the night.
And welcome back to the Southern Sisters radio show. Now, I gotta tell you, that song makes me feel pretty good about having a fever.
Yeah.
Right? You know, this song may be the best thing about the flu. Because there's not much good about it, I can tell you that. My poor administrative assistant, Jeanette, was out for 10 days. Do you know that poor child, bless her heart, she had both versions of the flu. She had A and B, or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, at the same time. Can you imagine?
Can't catch a break.
I felt so sorry for her. Bless her little heart. It just really did a number on her and so many other people that I have known. I mean, it is a particularly virulent and just detestable strain.
Right. I've had it around the house for about a week now. It seems like everybody in the house but me. Oh, my mom had it too. Yeah.
Your mom had it as well?
So 4 of the 6, me and the littlest, have been fine. So
no,
we've been hyping up the vitamin C like it's going out of style.
You have to. You have to, right? I got to tell you, this year's flu season is already the most widespread on record since health officials began tracking about 13 years ago, and has already caused the deaths of more children than what normally would be expected at this time of the year.
Wow.
Do you know that during the second week of January, more people sought care for flu-like illnesses than at any comparable period in nearly a decade?
What?
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's most recent weekly report shows 10 children died in the week ending January 13th. Isn't that terrible? Bringing the total number of pediatric deaths this flu season to 30. And more than 9,000 people have been hospitalized with laboratory-confirmed influenza since the season started in October.
Oh, my gosh.
It is bad.
Wow, yeah, this is a bad one.
You know, I don't know really what it is about this particular strain, but there's something different about this one.
Right. Some of the little stuff that I've seen talked about, this is just a harder one than usual.
Right.
This one's more resistant to the drugs.
To the drugs.
Oh.
The Tamiflu's not really doing much to it.
Right. It's helping. I know that the Tamiflu's doing a good job of helping with the fever.
Right.
But not the aches.
But not all the other nasty symptoms.
The worst part. Yeah.
Well, you might be asking yourself, is there something particularly bad about this year's strain? Yes. What is it? Well, this season, the predominant strain is also the nastiest. It's called H3N2. Which causes the worst outbreaks of the 2 influenza A viruses and 2 types of influenza B viruses. And they circulate among people, and they are responsible. That is what's responsible for the epidemic.
Yuck.
It's awful. Mm-mm. Now, as top CDC flu expert Daniel Jurgensen said, of the viruses we hate H3N2 more than all the others. This strain, which has been around for about 50 years, I was surprised to hear that.
Oh, wow.
It's not necessarily a new strain, but it's able to change more quickly to get around the human body's immune system than the other viruses. It's a bad one. Jeez. It is so bad. And you know what? It can affect people different ways. right? So some people might have just a couple of the symptoms, and the unfortunate ones may have all of them. It's the fever, right? Or feeling feverish with chills, the cough, the sore throat, the runny nose, the muscle and body aches. Those are the worst. Right now, this year's vaccine, as you said, is not particularly effective.
Yeah, as sad as that is, most of the cases of confirmed flu have been from people who actually got the flu shot.
Got the vaccine. Isn't that all? That's kind of depressing, actually.
It is.
Now, how long do you think the flu is going to last, and when is it going to peak? Now, the flu is very unpredictable. The exact timing and duration can vary, but influenza activity often begins to increase in October, and most of the time, flu activity peaks around December through February. Got it? Now, believe it or not, though, it can pop up a little bit in March as well.
Oh,
so
no.
I'm hoping that by the first week of spring, this will be completely gone.
Yeah, please.
Right?
Goodness.
And you need to watch for some of the more serious symptoms, particularly in children. Do not wait. You know, if it's looking bad, particularly in our young ones, particularly high fevers, the fevers spike, you need to take them in, right?
Absolutely.
And they don't do as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, that's the thing, too, is that if influenza is left untreated, it can turn into things like pneumonia. It can cause, bad issues with like bronchitis, upper respiratory infections, and you've still got the flu while those happen.
While
so
those are
still
going
got
on,
all the aches and the
it's
high fevers.
Like the spin-off sicknesses.
Right, exactly.
Right, that come in.
It can get out of control real fast.
Oh,
for sure.
Goodness gracious.
Yep.
Well, so you might be asking yourself, if you've got it now, what kind of treatment is available? What is best? Antiviral drugs such as Tamiflu can lessen the symptoms and shorten the duration of the illness. Most people who get the flu have mild illness and don't necessarily need antiviral drugs. But people who are very sick or people who have those really bad flu symptoms, they, as you said, Nick, they are at a high risk for serious complications. Those spin-off problems that can just be a real bear.
Littler kids and the elderly.
The elderly,
yes.
Anybody with chronic conditions or diabetes or heart disease, everything is worse for them. So you really need to get a hold of it early. Now, what can you do to avoid getting sick? And the single most important thing to do is prevent the spread of the germs, obviously, right? Wash your hands frequently. Now, my daughter called me a Purell Nazi this past week. Yes, indeed.
Me too. I've got one of the big jugs with a little nozzle on it.
Yeah.
I'm rocking one of those.
Yeah, I need a bottle of them like in holsters on the side. You know. Pull them out.
Yes.
Whip it out and squirt that in everybody's hands. I don't care if it's rude. If you want to shake my hand, you need to, what? I actually, at market this week, our company went to market. We were doing a lot of fist bumps.
Yep.
Kind of, the outside right there, right? So what you want to do is avoid the spread of germs. That's what we were talking about. What you can do is, isolate your toothbrushes.
Yep.
There are some families that stick all their toothbrushes in one little cup together in the bathroom, like a shared bathroom.
Yes.
You don't want to do that.
No, you don't.
Spread them out. If you've had the flu, they say it's best just to throw that toothbrush away after you've recovered.
Absolutely.
You want to launder your bedding frequently. So if you've been sick or you share a bed with someone that's been sick, clean the sheets and the pillowcases frequently. For those that are using humidifiers, you also want to clean those, right? You can have all kinds of things that can kind of build up the viruses in the filters and it actually do more harm than good, actually. And by all means, what you really need to do, like I said before, guys, is you need to don't let it get a hold of you until it's too bad. You're right.
Yes.
At the first sign of serious illness in you or your loved ones, you need to seek medical attention. You absolutely do.
Go to the doctor.
Right? We don't want our listeners sick.
No.
Southern Sisters listeners, please take care of yourself.
We're miserable when you're miserable.
I know, right? And none of us wants to be miserable. We love y'all too much. So anyway, take care of yourself. Wash your hands. Use that Purell. Change the toothbrushes and the sheets. And of course, tune in and listen to the Southern Sisters Radio Show. We'll be right back.
In the morning, fever all through the night.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to the line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your website, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services. nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
This is Jenny Earhart with Southern Sisters Radio, and I'm your Southern Sister. In case you didn't know, you can check us out every Sunday at 2 p.m. right here on KLRN. And I'd love to hear from you. Email me at radio@southernsistershome.com. And welcome back to the Southern Sisters Radio Show. Cake by the ocean, cake in my kitchen, cake in the car. I don't care. Anywhere.
Cake everywhere.
Guess what today is, y'all?
Oh.
It's my official national holiday. It is National Chocolate Cake Day.
Yay!
Did you know there was such a thing?
No, but I mean, isn't every day kind of chocolate cake?
Well, I think we've said that about a number of different national food days. Okay, here is the controversy. Here is the conflict. January is also National Fat-Free Month.
What?
I know.
Come
and
on.
I'm like, how can you have Chocolate Cake Day if it's National National Fat-Free Month? I ignore that part. We're not talking about that today. We're focusing on the chocolate cake because, hello, I have a quote in my first book. It says you can never be ungrateful when eating chocolate cake.
This is a fact.
Yes.
Scientifically proven, I agree.
And that was actually a quote that I said. I usually try to quote other people in my books, right? But that one was just like, no, that's me.
Yeah.
That's me. I said that, and I meant it. Every word of it.
That's true, though. You can't eat chocolate cake with a frown on your face.
No, and nothing hurts when you're eating chocolate cake.
True.
You know, you could be at home with a your foot in a cast laid up, but you're not even thinking about it when you're eting chocolate cake.
Very good point.
Right? Now, if you have the flu, maybe. You're not going to want chocolate cake if you have the flu.
It'll make the flu suck less.
This
right?
is true. It sucks. Makes things suck less. I love that. Well, guys, we are going to showcase a really fun, kind of yummy, delicious, super easy chocolate cake recipe.
Ooh, I like easy.
Now, I have got my world famous gooey chocolate fudge cake recipe that is actually in my first book.
Oh.
So if you guys are interested in picking that up, you can on the website. It will also be, we're going to post that on the blog on the website.
Wonderful.
So for that recipe, you can go to southernsistershome.com, click on the blog, check out Jenny's gooey chocolate fudge cake.
No.
But for those of you that can't wait for that, no, you got to have your chocolate cake right now.
Ooh.
You don't want to wait.
Right now.
Well, sometimes you just got to have it. It's a little bit of this sort of immediate gratification.
That's okay sometimes.
That goes on in the world.
It's okay.
It's okay when it comes to chocolate cake. I'm not waiting an hour to bake one. I just want one now. This is a great recipe if you just have that hankering and you want something quick. Or let's say that you're a college student. You can actually make this in your dorm or a little apartment. You know, if you have the ingredients, I mean, you do have to have a few of these little ingredients, but it's in such small proportions.
So I can make it in the dorm room?
Yeah.
Do I need to have a little burner?
Well, Ree Drummond, I'm attributing this recipe to Ree because this is a Pioneer Woman recipe, and it's called, cake in a mug, chocolate cake in a mug.
Very nice.
And so she talks about, now, I'll be honest with you. When I was in college, I didn't necessarily have some of these ingredients sitting around. I did not have, what's in here? I didn't have baking powder. I didn't have. I might have had chocolate chips.
But can I ask you a question though?
Yes.
If you had known you could have made chocolate cake in a mug, wouldn't you have probably
I would have
saved
done
up
it.
a little?
I would have done it. Hey, I've got a great idea for y'all that have kids off at college. You could put together a couple of these little ingredients in little Ziploc bags. And your kids could take it off with you. I mean, they could take it to college and mix it up when they're there.
That's a great.
They would have to have some milk and eggs, but you can buy like a six pack of eggs.
Yeah.
Keep it in their little mini fridge.
Good point.
And sometimes you just need yourself some chocolate cake.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to do. It is gooey. It is warm when you eat it, so it's delicious. You just need a coffee mug. So that's the only special equipment you need, in fact. It's like a 12-ounce microwave-safe coffee mug, maybe a ceramic one. You also need your microwave oven. Right. That's about it, okay? So here's what you're going to do in the mug. You're going to put just 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. You'll need 3 tablespoons of sugar. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and just a little pinch of salt. And you want to stir those dry ingredients around in the bottom of your little microwave-safe ceramic coffee mug, okay? Just use a fork, right? Then you're going to add 3 tablespoons of milk, 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, maybe a little splash of vanilla if you have it. If you don't sweat it.
It's okay.
It's still good, right? And then one little trick that we have for keeping it moist is to put in about 3 tablespoons of chocolate chips because they're going to melt, right? As this little cake cooks in the microwave, they're going to be all melty and chocolatey and yummy.
Yum.
So you're going to stir all of that together, right? So it's not blended until it's nice and smooth. You pop that little cup right into the microwave. You're going to cook it on high for 90 seconds. For 90 seconds. Don't overcook it, right? Or the cake might be a little bit dry. You want to let it cool maybe 2 to 3 minutes so you don't burn your little tongue on those hot chocolate chips. And hello.
That's it?
That
90
is
seconds?
It. 90 seconds in a coffee mug, and it is to die for.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, knowing me, I'd put a little ice cream on top or maybe a little whipped cream or something, but you don't have to. You don't have to. It's fabulous just as it is. There is your... We should change the name.
Huh.
It should be called immediate gratification chocolate cake. For those of us that just can't wait.
I need it now, chocolate cake.
Right? I think this would be fun if you have young kids at home. That could be the thing,
They
you know?
kind of make their own.
Little chocolate cake in a mug.
That's wonderful.
Right? And since they're using the microwave, there's no hot burners. So even little ones could do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Or even something, too, I just thought about is, you could maybe take this to work with you.
Oh, right?
Take the ingredients to work with you and toss it together and make yourself a nice little dessert after lunch.
You could be known as, Nick the chocolate chip cake mug guy at Salem Media Group.
Oh, maybe. That's a good reputation to have.
Yeah.
It's a very good reputation.
Well, you'd make the whole kitchen smell like chocolate and
That's
it'd all
true.
come right. And then you'd have to make them for everybody, Nick. Never mind.
Oh, good point. No, that's not going to work. Not going to work.
So there you guys go. So you just got to have a little chocolate cake. There it is. And of course, we're going to put the recipe on the website as well. So if you're driving right now, pay attention to the road, right? There's time to make this when you get home. It'll be on the website. Just go to southernsistershome.com, click on the blog. There it is.
Yay.
Okay, as if the weekend wasn't good enough, Nick. As if it couldn't get any better. Tomorrow, Sunday, is also National Blueberry Pancake Month.
Oh.
Now, there's something about blueberry pancakes
Campakes.
Oh, I really need to stop drinking on the way to the studio. No, I'm joking. That was a joke. Guys, blueberry pancakes. Like that's something I could have every week. It's kind of a weekend thing for me. I don't have time to make them on the
chocolate
weekdays.
Cake. Now, blueberry pancakes. Any resolutions I had left are gone.
Right. Well, I gave up on mine weeks ago. I've decided I'm not even going to make them anymore.
There's only been 3 weeks.
I just disappoint myself. I set myself up for utter failure.
Yeah,
I think it's because I'm not making the right resolutions, the right ones. I'm making ones that are a little bit unattainable.
Our resolutions need to be eat more chocolate cake and blueberry pancakes.
That one I would never fail. I would never fail at that. I do that every day. No, but you know what? One of the things to know when you're making pancakes, if you're not making them from a box, and I'm not going to criticize anybody that makes their pancakes from a box because I do it too occasionally, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to do some homemade pancakes at home. And I have a fabulous recipe in my first book as well, in Sunday in the South, for some Georgia pecan pancakes with peach syrup that are amazing. But the same principle here. The key is you want to know what you're doing to get those fluffy pancakes.
Right. That's because that's something you don't want. Nobody likes the flat flapjacks.
They come off the flat. They're kind of heavy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're like Frisbees. We don't want Frisbee pancakes.
We don't want Frisbees.
We want the nice fluffy ones. Did you know that there is a trick to that?
Really?
Yeah.
So it's not just making sure you put the right stuff in the pan.
Well, no. Well, it's science.
Oh.
Now, for those of you that think that Southern Sisters here, we only know about good food and entertaining and things like that, we actually know a little bit about science, especially when it comes to cooking.
True.
Right? So have you ever actually wondered what makes a pancake fluffy? Why do pancake recipes always tell you not to overmix the batter? Have you heard that before?
Yes.
Don't beat it to death.
Right.
Okay? Now, the answer to these questions lie in a protein called gluten. Now, for those of us that don't have gluten intolerances, we can talk about this. For those of you that do, just put your fingers in your ears for the next 5 minutes. And I'm sorry. I am so sorry. But in this, what you need to remember is in this segment, we're going to talk about what it takes to make those little pancakes nice and fluffy and not rubbery and flat. Right. So pancake batter is composed of two crucial parts: dry ingredients, which is usually the flour, the sugar, the baking powder, right? Maybe the baking soda, and the wet ingredients, which is usually milk, eggs, and melted butter. Now, flour contains starch and protein. A starch is like a long chain of simple sugars, and a protein is a long chain-like molecule made up of smaller molecules called amino acids. Flour contains a protein called glutenin, or gluten for short, which is crucial for the formation and structure of pancakes and baked goods. Gluten provides that chewy texture in pancakes and breads. So here's the trick, guys. When the flour is dry, gluten molecules do not move much. It's kind of like they're taking a little nap. Imagine that. You got your flour, there's a bunch of little gluten molecules, and they're just taking a little siesta, right? Now, when the flour is moistened with water or milk or eggs, the gluten molecules become active. Wet gluten molecules are elastic and spring-like. When flour is mixed with water, gluten proteins loosen up from each other, they stretch out and begin to rearrange. Kind of like me after 2 glasses of wine. You're getting the picture.
Gotcha. I've got a good picture painted.
There you go. Yes. Then they form a web-like network of proteins that are able to trap air bubbles. When chemical leaveners such as baking powder, when that creates bubbles in the cooked pancake, the gluten network traps those bubbles and allows the pancake to rise and stay fluffy.
Oh.
So we don't want to beat that network, that web, to death and make it collapse. That's why you just mix it till it's combined. You can even have a few little bits of dried flour mixed in there still. It's not going to hurt.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's your key.
That makes a lot of sense.
Chances are if you've got a flat, ugly, heavy pancake, you may have overmixed the batter.
You beat it too much.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to. Hey, how would you like to hear about my favorite pancake recipe?
Yes, let's get the blueberries in.
This is going to be our Georgia blueberry pancakes. And, I even love to top them with a little peach syrup, which is kind of nice. Yeah. Here's how I do it. And these homemade pancakes, they combine the fluffy texture of traditional buttermilk pancakes with sweet blueberries, and it's just a perfect combination, right? So in a large mixing bowl, you're going to whisk together 2 cups of flour, 4 tablespoons of sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, a teaspoon of baking soda, and just a little pinch of salt. You're then going to add 2 cups of buttermilk. Folks, this makes it so good. It's worth buying that little quart of buttermilk for, just for this recipe. You're going to need 1 egg and a little teaspoon of vanilla. You're going to whisk it together just until you don't have any big lumps. But as I said before, don't beat it to death. You're going to preheat a griddle or a large skillet over medium heat. I like to rub the griddle with a little oil just to prevent sticking. And you're going to pour about 1/2 cup portions of the batter onto the hot griddle. You're then going to sprinkle the pancakes with those fresh blueberries. And I'm a little anal about this. I get in there and I have to space the blueberries out perfectly.
Oh, yeah. You got to be equidistant apart.
Something is wrong with me. Something is wrong. If you saw me hovering over my griddle, like counting them out and like...
There's nothing wrong with being particular about your pancakes.
You think so?
Nothing wrong with that.
Some people have another word for that, but particular is a nice one. I appreciate the use of that word, Nick.
Bless
Thank
your
you.
heart.
I'm a little blush. Oh, I know exactly how you meant that. Bless your heart. Yeah, that wasn't the sweet kind. That was the she's a little pitiful kind. That's what that meant. So here's what you're going to do. Oh, I love you too, Nick. So here's what you're going to do. After you've distributed your blueberries on top of that wet pancake, you're going to let the pancake cook until it starts to bubble a little bit. You want to flip it, cook it for another maybe 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, and remove the pancakes. Let me tell you something. These are fabulous.
Gotta say.
And if you haven't overbeaten the batter, they'll be fluffy.
Ah, yes. If you haven't overbeaten.
Little butter, little maple syrup. All is right with the world.
That's great.
Yeah. Follow it up with a piece of our chocolate cake, and you are on a sugar high for the rest of the day, folks. That's how we roll here at the Southern Sisters Radio Show. Anyway, so there you go, guys. Once again, the blueberry pancakes recipe will also be on the blog. Go to southernsistershome.com, click on the blog, and you will see the recipes. Let us know what you think of them, too. We love to hear from our listeners. You know, you can email me anytime you want, radio@southernsistershome.com. We'll be right back with the ways to stay happy. We're going to train your brain.
Oh, yeah. Now we're looking frosted from our own hands.
Hey, y'all, this is Jenny Earhart with the Southern Sisters Radio Show. We are moving to SunTrust Park. That's right. The new Southern Sisters Radio Studio is in the Battery, Atlanta. How would you like to be a guest and come visit us in our brand new studio at SunTrust Park? All you have to do is email us at radio@southernsistershome.com. We have a fantastic new studio, and we would love for you to come see it.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space.
Ensign with the iPad. Okay.
With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you
And welcome back to the Southern Sisters Show. Oh, I'm feeling happy today.
Yeah.
I am mostly happy to be back in the studio. I'm happy to see my wonderful producer, Nick, that I have missed so much. I am happy that I have got my iPad on a new stand that jiggles and dances on top of my desk.
Telling you, folks, if you listen to us on the radio, you're missing the great behind the scenes with Facebook Live. She's over here. This iPad is dancing crazier than she does. When we play good music.
It's basically a little gadget that kind of sort of elevates my iPad up in the air. It's got like a spring in it or something, I guess.
Something, I guess.
Kind of dances around there. It's kind of fun.
It's cool,
hey,
though.
Listen, your brain is simply built with a greater sensitivity to unpleasant news. Why is that? I don't like that. I don't like that about my brain. I understand it.
Yeah, right. Kind of the preparedness for bad things and whatnot. I
Right.
guess I get a little bit, but yeah, it's sad.
And we all kind of know people that are really bad at that. Like they're kind of Debbie Downers.
Right. They watch the news too much.
Yeah,
Let's be
right.
fair.
Turn off the TV sometimes, folks. Right? Don't turn off the radio though, especially not when our show's on. But the bias is so automatic in our brains that it can be detected at the earliest stages of a brain's information processing. Did you know that? Our brains have a negative bias. Now, guys, it's unfortunate, but it's true. And here's an example of one of the several experiments by John Capicola, right? A professor at the University of Chicago. Capicola said he showed a bunch of people some images known to produce positive feelings. For example, a cute animal, a nice car, the smiling face of my producer, Nick, something like that. Then he showed the same group images associated with negative and neutral emotions. The images of the cerebral cortex demonstrate that the brain produces more electrical activity following negative stimuli. Right. So this is a biological thing.
Wow.
right?
I like that.
Kind of sad. We attribute the brain's tendencies to focus on the negative once again to our fight or flight response.
True.
It's a survival technique, basically.
Yeah.
In the past, we needed to be aware.
Yeah.
You know?
Bad things coming your way. Get away.
Absolutely. If you've ever observed any animals in the wild, like deer, I know Earl has when he's out hunting, right? When they hear a stick crack behind them, they're not thinking, oh, maybe it's another deer coming up to play with me.
Right.
They're thinking, oh, maybe it's somebody coming to eat me.
Right.
Right?
And that's our natural instinct,
It's
too.
our natural,
Makes
too.
sense.
So if we make the practice of positive thinking habitual, we will witness positive transformations in just about every area of our life. We'll begin to think, feel, and act with more positivity. In turn, these effects will improve our relationships, make us more productive, create powerful feelings of gratitude. I love that. I've always said the key to happiness is gratitude.
Yes.
Right? And in general, enable us to see things in a more positive light. And that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
How do we do it? Okay. I'm going to give you 6 quick tips.
All right.
You can put them into practice tonight, Nick.
Yes, let's
Number
do it.
1, relish the present moment. Some people call this mindfulness, and we've talked a little bit about this on the show before. Okay, so this is very important. It's basically defining what a good life looks like to us, and then being completely present in the positive attributes of what we're doing at the moment. Okay, it's like when you're there. You know, rather than thinking, oh, I'm stuck in traffic, I'm in the car, this is so depressing, I'm so angry, I've got road rage, whatever, right? Instead of that thinking, gee, my car is running.
Right.
It's not broken down. I'm listening to some good music. I got some Steely Dan on the radio right now. I sure do love that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Pick out all the positive things that you're experiencing and focus on those and be mindful of it.
Wow.
Don't worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. Just stay present.
True. That does help.
Stay present. It helps a lot. How about this? We've talked about this a little before, too. Breathe mindfully. Of all the 6 tips, this might be the most important. Breathing has an incredible amount of power when you simply pay attention to it. Most times we are unaware of our breathing. This is true.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So unless you're a yoga master or something, your regular breath is probably suboptimal, definitely too shallow. So anger, anxiety, fear, stress, all of these things can contribute to shallow breathing. So all you really need is 5 minutes, folks. Whether or not you're anxious, sad, or whatever, take 5 minutes a day to focus on your breath. Here's how you do it. Let's try it right now, Nick. Here we are.
Okay.
Sit upright, but not too tight. Shoulders back, chest out. Rest your hands in a peaceful position. Got it? Okay. Then what we're going to do is focus on the sensations of your nostrils and breathe in deeply for 3 seconds. The inhale should fill your belly and your diaphragm, right? Mm-hmm. And then slowly exhale for 6 seconds. So out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you can repeat that 6 times, right, then that's going to give you an incredible amount of power, simply paying attention to it. It's a good thing to do in the car, I think.
Yeah.
I find the car to be a kind of a stressful place.
Right. It can be.
So breathe in and then breathe out. Let your exhale take twice as long. And then repeat this process 4 or 5 times.
No.
See if you feel different.
I can feel different a little already.
Do you feel better already?
Yeah.
Gosh, you already look happier, Nick. He's got a big smile on his face. Another thing you can do to train your brain to be happier is to express gratitude. It's human nature to always think about the next big thing, whatever that may entail. Look at your own life. Have you ever constructed a scenario when the ultimate happiness would manifest? Like you'll say, when I finish college, I'll be happy. When I get that great, job, I get that great home, then I'll be happy. But make no mistake, there are so many possibly beautiful things around you right where you are. If you're always thinking about the future, you're going to focus on that and not appreciate the present moment. So don't give the future too much power over you. Be happy in your moment and grateful for the things that you have. How about smiling? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I know it sounds like a simple thing. My grandmother used to say this, and I just rolled my eyes at her when I was a teenager. I'm like, I don't feel like smiling. Flashing an ear-to-ear grinner has a particular type of magic. Many studies show that smiling, whether or not we feel like it, produces happiness within the brain and body. How about that? Scientifically proven.
Wow.
Yeah, the brain waves change. How about simplifying? Now, whether we're addicted to our phones, buying things we don't need, overeating, or overcomplicating our work, many of us can benefit from simplifying our lives. Simplifying and its close cousins, which are minimalism and decluttering, can make your life a lot easier. Things to think about simplifying. Less clothing, less clutter, more open space. I love open space.
Yes.
We have a lot of it at our new studio, right?
Yes, we do.
Eliminating debt, going carless. Well, that might be hard for me.
Yeah, depends on your lifestyle.
Have to live in a city. Yeah. Limiting your expectations. These are all ways, folks, that you can train your brain to be happy. I'm going to work on them this week.
I think we all should.
I've been a little too grumpy. It's time to be happy again. Folks, we are so happy that you joined us this week for the Southern Sisters Radio Show. It is great to be back in the studio. Looking forward to you listening to us next week from Southern Sisters' new studio at the Battery Atlanta at SunTrust Park. Send me an email, radio@southernsistershome.com, and have a great, great week.
What's going on, KLRN Radio family? You've been with our Southern sister, Jenny Earhart. Of course, check out her website, southernsistershome.com. And if you're a Facebook user, Southern Sisters with Jenny Earhart. A fantastic site, her website, and all the cool Facebook Live videos from present and past available on her Facebook page, Southern Sisters with Jenny Earhart. So you're about to hear an interview that we did. This is a special treat for our Sunday audience between Jenny and I about her chocolate cake recipe that's to die for. Hope you enjoy. Have a great weekend. Always great to have our Southern sister back in When's World, Jenny Earhart.
Hey, Joey, you're just glad I'm here because I'm talking about chocolate cake today.
You know it's National Chocolate Cake Day.
Did you know there was such a thing?
No, but there should be in every nation,
Yeah,
I
a.k.a.
think.
Jenny's favorite holiday. Yes, indeed, today is National Chocolate Cake Day, and I am here to share my absolute favorite chocolate cake recipe, okay? My mother was given this recipe by the mother of a girl in my 5th grade class. She brought a piece of this cake to school with her in her lunchbox one day, and I begged this poor girl relentlessly until she gave me a bite. It was definitely worth all that begging. We have been making this cake in my family for 40 years.
You know, see, I'm the store-bought kind of guy because I'm lazy.
Joey.
But I have a strange suspicion that you're going to make this exceedingly
easy. It is
easy.
super easy. Anybody can do it.
Nice.
Anybody can do it. And guess what? I'm going to tell you a little about the recipe. It's also going to be on my website. So you folks can go to southernsistershome.com, click on the blog, and look at Jenny's gooey chocolate fudge cake. It's right there. You know how to turn the oven on, right?
I think so.
Okay, 325 degrees
325
is what you need, right?
Cool.
So in a large mixing bowl, you're going to combine 2 cups sugar and 2 cups flour. I know you've got that in your kitchen.
Those.
There's all there is to it there. Now, in a medium saucepan, you're going to melt 1 stick of butter, 3 tablespoons of cocoa, 1 cup of water, and a half a cup of oil until it's melted. You pour this over the flour mixture and combine. You're going to add 2 eggs. Now, listen, this is worth buying a quart of buttermilk for because the buttermilk is going to impart all of that richness, that decadent moistness, right? So you need to add a half a cup of buttermilk, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Mix it well, pour it into an ungreased 9x13 baking pan. You don't even have to grease the pan, Joey.
Oh, wow.
That's how easy it is. Just pour it in there. You're going to bake it for 35 to 40 minutes or until a toothpick, you know that little trick? You stick a toothpick in the center, and when it comes out clean, without any batter sticking to it, you know it's ready.
And if it does come out with batter, you just lick the batter off and try
Oh
again.
man, pop it back. You just pop it back into the oven and call it a day. Maybe another 2 to 3 minutes if it's sticking.
Okay,
you got it. Now we're going to make this cake better by slathering it with an amazing chocolate fudgy icing. So all you're going to do is in a medium saucepan, you're going to heat 1 stick of butter, 1/3 cup milk, and 3 tablespoons of cocoa over medium heat until it's nice and melted. You're then going to add 1 box of confectioner's sugar.
Okay.
The entire box. Yes, indeed. Just whisk it in there until it's nice and smooth and pour it right over the hot cake right out of the oven.
Okay, so let me ask a really dumb question.
Yeah.
You said pour the whole box. Are there different size boxes of confectionery?
I think it's a 1 pound box.
One
it's
pound.
A standard box.
Okay.
Not the big bags. Those are usually 2 pounds.
Okay.
But just the standard box of powdered sugar, confectioner's sugar. The whole thing goes in.
I'm ready for sugar overload right now.
The hardest part is going to be waiting for that cake to cool a little bit so you don't burn your tongue.
Well, in the meantime, you just lick the toothpick.
Well, hello. But that is how I am celebrating National Chocolate Cake Day today.
That is so awesome.
Yay.
And folks, of course, if you listen to AM 920 The Answer every Saturday, Jenny kicks off the afternoon with Southern Sisters Radio.
Right, at noon.
And in addition to the chocolate cake recipe, you guys had a really fun show, but it was also practical because you're talking about how to survive the flu epidemic. And I know around the Wenz compound, we've seen a lot of sicknesses come and go. I have a child in daycare.
Oh, yeah.
So
Then it's unavoidable, right? Yeah, it has really sort of ravaged the country. So we give some tips on how to avoid getting it and how to survive it if you do get it.
And speaking of survival, women and guns. And I know here in the South, we're a very gun-happy culture.
We are.
Including the Wenslers. We are, too.
We are, too. Well, we take our guns seriously in the South, and women as well. I often refer to guns as the equalizer for women.
Absolutely.
Because typically we can't outweigh or outbulk our male counterparts. Sure. So when we need to protect ourselves, it's good to know that we have a weapon to do so.
And also, you guys give some techniques for brain training. That's some next level stuff
listen,
here.
Joey, you are not too old to train your brain. Neither am I. There are actually some brain exercises, techniques that you can use to train your brain to be more happy.
That is so cool. Everybody could use a little more happiness.
So tune into the Southern Sisters radio show. You'll learn how to shoot a gun, eat chocolate cake, and be happy.
All at the same time.
All at the same time.
And, of course, all that's available on SouthernSistersHome.com.
SouthernSistersHome.com. You can also watch us live, Facebook Live on our Facebook page, Southern Sisters with Jenny Earhart.
Southern Sisters Gone Wild.
Yes. Uncut and uncensored.
Oh, I absolutely love when you come here. Jenny, thanks so much for coming back.
Thanks, Joey. Hey, y'all, it's Jenny Earhart from the Southern Sisters radio show. Have you checked out our website, SouthernSistersHome.com? We have the most gorgeous array of gourmet flour sack towels. They will look fabulous in your kitchen, and they're complete with all sorts of Southern sayings, designs. Go to our website and check us out, SouthernSistersHome.com, and guess what? We have a promo going on right now. 30% off your order. Just put in promo code SISTERS at checkout. Also, free shipping on all U.S. orders.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.